Right now, in Tokyo, there's a kitchen where a mother is quietly preparing dinner for her family. The countertops are sparkling clean. The cutting board has been washed twice. If a Westerner were to enter a kitchen tonight, perhaps yours, something they would notice in the first 10 seconds would make them drop their bag, turn back, and question our way of life. And it's not the dishes in the sink, nor is it the crumbs on the floor. It's something Western families do frequently. Something you probably did this morning. A Japanese kitchen isn't just a place to cook. It's a space to be respected. Your attitude towards your food, your belongings, and your space reflects who you are. Among Western habits, there are 7 that would unsettle a Japanese person. Some of these habits are probably predictable. But the 4th habit is so common in Western homes that many would argue it's a meticulous and clean practice. Yet in Japan, it's considered one of the most dangerous mistakes one can make. The 7th habit would not only disturb a Japanese person, but could also evoke something of mourning in them. So, stay with me until the end, because once you see this, it will never leave your mind. Let's begin. Imagine a Western dinner. You pull out a cutting board. You slice raw chicken on it. Then, perhaps with a quick rinse, you immediately move on to chopping tomatoes, cucumbers, and lettuce for a salad. The same board, the same knife, for a dinner. For many, this method is quite practical. Fewer dishes, less mess, less time spent in the sink. But for a Japanese cook, this is almost impossible. In a traditional Japanese kitchen, the cutting board, manaita, is considered a sacred surface. Many Japanese households have separate boards for raw meat and fish, another for vegetables, and sometimes a third for foods eaten raw, like fruit or sashimi. The contact of the same surface with raw chicken and then fresh cucumber is not carelessness, according to a Japanese cook. It's a situation that doesn't feel safe in terms of respect for the food and the people you intend to feed. This is important, no drama. In the West, cross-contamination created by shared cutting boards is a major cause of foodborne illnesses. Last year's restaurant-induced stomach virus may have started right at your own counter. The Japanese sense of this isn't some kind of superstition. It's wisdom we lose in the rush of preparing dinner. Before we get to that point, ask yourself how many cutting boards you have on your kitchen counter and which one you last touched. If that question makes you a little uneasy, good. That's exactly why you're here. And trust me, the 3rd habit is going to be even worse. Now, let's move on to something we all do late at night. At the end of a long day, there are remnants in the pan, rice stuck to the bottom. Then you find yourself repeating that magic phrase, "I'm just going to soak it overnight." You fill the sink with water, put the dishes in, and turn around, feeling like you've fulfilled your responsibility. In Japan, this habit would be appalling to almost everyone. A full sink with dirty dishes floating in it isn't just a soak for a Japanese person. Such stagnant water in the middle of your home allows bacteria to grow. In the Japanese kitchen philosophy, everything must be kept in motion. Clean, wash, and dry immediately. The idea of dishes left to sit in hot, still water for hours, covering food, is the complete opposite of everything they value. There's a beautiful thought here, according to the Japanese mindset. A clean kitchen tonight is a gift to yourself when you wake up in the morning. A Japanese cook resets everything in the kitchen after dinner. It's spotless, peaceful, and ready. Ready to wake up in the morning with breakfast, not the remnants of dinner. Imagine waking up in a peaceful kitchen. They cherish that. Now, pause for a moment. And if you think leaving dishes out overnight is bad, wait until you hear how we use our sponges. That's the next topic. Actually, this is one of the first days I changed my house. Now, mentally go to your kitchen and look at your sponge. Really examine it. How long has it been there? A week? A month? Or even more? When was the last time you actually changed it? Did you just rinse it, wring it out, or completely replace it? If you pause to think about this, you're not alone. In many Western homes, sponges are used until they physically decompose. We use them for dishes, wiping countertops, cleaning the sink. Then we wring them out, leave them damp by the faucet, and prepare them for reuse the next day. This is a habit that bothers the Japanese quite a bit. Science is on their side, too. Studies have shown that the kitchen sponge is often the dirtiest object in the house. It's even been found to be dirtier than a toilet seat. Hot, humid, and full of tiny food particles. A perfect breeding ground for bacteria. So, what do we do with this bacteria-filled object? We use it on surfaces where we prepare food. In Japan, there's a completely different understanding of sponges. Many households change them frequently, some once a week, some more often. Sponges are usually color-coded, according to their use. One color for dishes, another for the sink, and another for countertops. They also never mix. After each use, they wring them out completely and leave them to dry. Because a Japanese cook instinctively understands that a damp sponge is a living thing. A dry sponge is not alive. At the heart of all this is a philosophy to remember. In Japanese culture, cleanliness isn't a task you undertake when something starts to get dirty. Rather, it's a continuous process to prevent contamination. And the sponge is the most obvious example of this philosophy. Here's an honest challenge. When this video is over, go to your kitchen and throw away your sponge. Just do it. Because everything I'm going to say about the fourth habit boils down to it. And here's something most people get completely wrong. This is the situation I promised you from the beginning. It's such a common habit that many people believe it's clean, careful, and responsible. Raw chicken is washed under the tap. Doesn't that feel right? You rinse off the slipperiness. You clean the meat. Your mother did it. Her mother did it before her. It seems like the most basic hygiene in the world. But for a Japanese person and food scientists, this is one of the most dangerous things you can do in the kitchen. Here's what happens as a result of this action. While you hold that raw chicken under the tap, the water hits the surface, and tiny, invisible droplets splash in all directions around your sink, 2 or 3 steps away. And these droplets carry bacteria, Campylobacter, Salmonella, to the tap handle, the countertop, the clean dishes next to you, the vegetables you just cut. You didn't clean the chicken. You took that danger and turned it into a nice mist and spread it throughout the kitchen. Here's the bitter irony. The cooking temperature will kill every single piece of bacteria on the chicken. Simply cleaning up only serves to spread the mess around. In Japan, raw poultry and fish are handled with great care, but instinct dictates never to splash or spray. To absolutely keep the clean separate from the raw. The thought of raw chicken broth spreading in an invisible mist around the kitchen can force a Japanese cook to physically recoil. You have to stop this habit today, not tomorrow. If you don't break it from here, I just want you to learn something. Take a deep breath, because we're only halfway through now. But stay with me, because the 5th, 6th, and 7th habits will reveal something much deeper than bacteria. They will truly reveal our feelings toward food. there's something unsettling here. All of this is happening differently. We look at what we touch. We focus on what we prepare. But now we have to look down, at our feet. Because the next habit is something we do step by step every day, and something we completely overlook. Look at your feet. In most Western cuisines, we cook with the shoes we wear, outside with the food we eat. We wear our shoes in the parking lot when we go to work or to the shop. Once inside, we prepare our food on this clean surface. Children sit and play, crumbs fall, and are sometimes immediately picked up. But for a Japanese person, this carries a deep, emotional inaccuracy. In Japan, shoes are removed at the door. But this isn't just a tradition. It reflects a much deeper belief that the outside world is dirty, the inside of the house is clean, and that these two states should never be confused. The floors of Japanese kitchens are the areas where food can be safely prepared. To enter that clean space with shoes that have touched public restrooms, sidewalks, and crowded stations, to cook there, violates all the boundaries between clean and dirty. And when you really think about it, it's hard to accept that we're bringing in bacteria and residue from every surface we've walked on all day, from the soles of our shoes. We need to be more mindful of what we bring inside. Japanese kitchens are so clean that food falling on the floor isn't a major disaster. Now, honestly, can you say the same about your kitchen? Now let's open your refrigerator and take a look inside. Half-empty leftovers, opened boxes pushed to the back, a peeled plate in one corner, smelly food right next to the lighter smelling, all sharing the same cold air. Our refrigerators, where food awaits us. A refrigerator is a place, but according to a Japanese cook, the refrigerator reflects discipline in the kitchen. And for the average Westerner, the opening of the refrigerator door brings a sense of unease. In Japan, food storage is done carefully and meticulously. Leftover food is kept in clean containers and is usually thoughtfully portioned. Food left in an open container not only risks drying out or becoming contaminated with bacteria, it also diminishes the freshness of everything around it. Rice next to fish, onions next to fruit. In Japanese understanding, this is not order, it's chaos. But there's a deeper aspect to this. Leaving food out in the open is perceived as a disregard for food, disrespect for providing for your family. In a culture where even a single grain of rice is valued, open food in a cluttered refrigerator seems thoughtless. This respect is an expression of seeing food not as something to be thrown away, but as something valued. And here we come to the seventh and final habit. I promised you this earlier. But first, you need to understand something. The first 6 habits on this list relate to bacteria, contamination, and health hygiene. But this last habit doesn't just bother a Japanese person. It carries a deeper sense of moral injury. An emotional revulsion ensues. And when you understand why, you'll see it everywhere. Food waste. In Western kitchens, this is completely commonplace. We give ourselves extra servings. We don't finish our plates. And we throw the leftovers in the trash without thinking. Half a plate of rice, untouched vegetables, waste, goes into the trash. We do it in such a way that we can't even make it a habit. For a Japanese person, however, it's the most repulsive thing on this list. In Japan, there's a word called mottenai, and its meaning in this culture is difficult. It's a deep and sad feeling of wasting something precious, like disregarding the value and life of something. And food is more precious than anything else. Children are trained not to leave even a last grain of rice. Meals begin with a word that silently thanks the lives and labor that brought the food to the table. Itadakimasu. Therefore, when a Japanese person sees food carelessly thrown into the trash, they don't just see waste. They feel it in their chest, the sensation of a contaminated cutting board, or the feeling of a sponge teeming with bacteria. Because these aren't just habits, they are errors stemming from ignorance and carelessness. But it's also a reflection of our values. The food isn't worth enough to be finished. The farmer who grew it isn't worth enough. The animal or land that provided it isn't worth enough. And the family that nourished it hasn't been considered important enough. When a Japanese person throws their plates in the trash, they see that it's not just a habit, but a profound insight into our relationship with the things that nourish us. Perhaps this relates to the true lesson underlying these 7 habits. Ultimately, a Japanese kitchen is clean, not just because of rules, but because of yearning and respect. Respect for food is respect for your utensils, for the people you feed, and for the version of yourself that will wake up tomorrow. Every habit on this list consists of cutting boards, dishes left overnight, sponges, raw chicken, shoes, leftovers left open, and unfinished plates. All of these stem from the same silent source. The truth is, we didn't lose these habits because we were careless. We simply forgot about them at some point because life rushed by so fast. But awareness is where it all starts anew. So tonight, try making just one change. Not all 7 habits, just one. Throw away that old sponge. Neatly close your leftovers before bed. Or take your shoes off before entering the kitchen. Choose one, work on it tonight, and observe how you feel, not just in your kitchen, but in the way you transition within it. A small change, a quiet shift, that's all it takes to get started.